Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about Tolarian Community College and how he believes that what he is doing is better than what other content creators are doing. He is very vocal and very critical of other content creators, especially those who compete with Card Kingdom and Channel Fireball. So right off the bat, those are his two biggest sponsors. You cannot deny this. Card Kingdom is on every one of his videos. Channel Fireball flies him and puts him in a hotel, gives him his age stake, uses him in all the GP promotional materials. I don't think anyone would argue that, and I would hope that he would not argue that as well. But having interacted with him on the monthly Magic Box, it's unclear to me if he views free stuff as a sponsorship. It should be, right? If you get a free hotel, free airfare, wouldn't you say that, hey, I'm sponsored by these people? But in the past, Tolarian has made it very clear that free stuff does not equal sponsorship, in his opinion. So back to the argument at hand, Tolarian Community College is telling smaller and everyone, every YouTube channel is smaller than him, every e-celebrity is smaller than him, how to do a preview card. And my argument here would be, your best friend, the Manosaurus, he was given one of the best preview cards, and he was very lazy about it. Obviously, the Manosaurus has not produced a video in a month. I will talk about that in more detail. And actually, I'm offering him a free Pitbull. I'll pay for the Pitbull health insurance, and I will pay for the adoption fee because Manosaurus is really into Pitbulls right now. So good for him. Pitbulls are extremely hard to adopt out. So if he can adopt a Pitbull, I will have so much respect for him. And, it seems like he wants to. So I'll pay for that for him. Plus, Pitbulls are great for exercise. I love, we don't really get purebred Pitbulls. We get mutts, half Pitbull, half something else. And they're so energetic. They're not like my dog at all, where he's just, it takes a lot to get them up and hiking, right? My cat actually likes hiking better than my dog. My cat is kind of like a weird indoor cat. But back to the conversation, the professor, totally not a shill. I think if you package Jeremy in a more not offensive person, he has some very valid points. It's just that he kind of throws offensiveness in it. So this is Tolarian Community College. He uses this technique in English where it's the Brutus, it's the Julius Caesar. Every high schooler has read the Julius Caesar and Et tu, Brute, right? Brutus makes this speech saying how awesome Caesar is, right? And then, but in his reality, he's like, but that being said, and then he backstabs him, right? This is the typical Tolarian Community College. It is a literary device. I forget what it's called, but it's when you acknowledge your opponent's argument, and then you say good stuff about them, and then you stab them in the back. This time, it's even more passive aggressive because he never mentions he will use examples of something that happened. Hey, I would never charge $5 for a photo. It's so specific. And you know who he's talking about, but he never mentions them. And that's even more. So that's another device that you can use, right? Where you just keep naming details and everyone concludes it's Star City Games, which it is, but you never mention Star City Games. So when someone comes back at you, just like in a Rudy thing, and says, hey, why are you doing this to Rudy? I never mentioned Rudy. I just named 10 specific events that can only be applied to Rudy. But I never mentioned him. So then you have some leeway in case the blowback is really hard. But if the blowback is not hard, then you continue with these vague. These statements are not vague. It is specifically vague. Statements are very specific to a certain person, but the person is never mentioned, and the person is mentioned in a vague context. So we're talking about watermarks and advertising and whether or not we should have watermarks. Watermarks have been used by leakers for a long time. I remember when Commander 2017 was leaked. It was this random dude on Instagram, right? and he used a watermark to leak every single card. Eventually, people shared the watermarks, and that was that. So Tolarian is saying that you shouldn't use watermarks. It's not good behavior. At a certain point, you just have to accept that getting a preview card is not a major boost to your views, sales, and etc. I would argue the reverse. If you ask any small YouTuber if a preview card will boost their views, I would argue they would absolutely say yes. A lot of times, if you listen to these small podcasters, they're talking about how hard they're working to get a preview card, and they're working 6 months at it or something. And Tolarian is just so above everyone else that to him, what he sees is, all right, I'm doing Wizard of the Coast a favor. It is a favor for them. As opposed to small YouTube channels, even YouTube channels my size, I would be very grateful to get a preview card. Now, am I going to get one? No. Even Unsleeved Media was grateful to get a preview card, and that was the blowback from whatever his name was, and saying that he was unwanted. And then Unsleeved Media kind of just went haywire a little bit. I really think that if Jeremy tried to tone it down a tiny bit, I know that's not his brand. I know his brand is very aggressive, but he has some very good arguments. And the reason that his arguments are not being heard, well, one of the reasons, there's other political reasons, of course, is because people don't like Jeremy. But his arguments are many times spot on. And I think his argument here are spot on. So Tolarian Community College has forgotten what it's like to be a small channel and being super excited to get a preview card and, getting those views, getting those things. It's funny, right? This guy has reached such a level in the Magic community that he looks down upon everyone. And he doesn't understand. I don't think he actually understands. I think that's the problem. I don't feel like he's doing this out of spite or out of hate. I think just what he's saying makes sense for him. Is that in his opinion, a preview card is just a waste of his time. It doesn't give him any more views. It's the same as any other video. And doesn't bring him more subscribers. It won't give him more donations. Therefore, it's a favor to Wizard of the Coast. But to a small YouTube channel, a lot of these small YouTube channels, podcasts, content creators, getting a preview card, even if it's a common and not a mythic, is a huge deal. But to the big YouTubers like Wedge, they want him to make a video because he has 180,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. On his Twitter, he only has 30,000, and he's highly political on his Twitter page. And when he was given one of the great Esper legendaries, what does he do? He does the minimal amount of work and posts on his Twitter. There's no video, at least not that I've seen today. And I would assume you wouldn't spoil the card on Twitter if you had a video. So a lot of these bigger YouTubers, they don't have any appreciation for what Wizard of the Coast is giving them because they're so used to it. Let me put it this way. You random content, or you want to make a channel. I'm Wizard of the Coast. I'm going to give you the card that Wedge just spoiled. A mythic, legendary, odd, very interesting mechanic card. What are you going to do with the card? You're a YouTube channel. You have 10 subscribers. Your channel would blow up. What does Wedge do with the card? I'll make some funny quotes and, funny memes and then post it. It's ridiculous, right? And the thing with Tolarian, he's given a card and he views it as work. Oh, I don't want to do this. They don't pay me money. Why should I do this? Give the card to someone else then. Give the card to someone who will appreciate it. But of course, Wizard of the Coast doesn't do that because Wizard of the Coast is highly political. And, obviously Wedge and Tolarian, they align with their political views, and therefore they're promoted. and any smaller channels that doesn't agree with them, they just get shoved in the background. It's to the point that Tolarian, I really don't feel like he understands what he's saying. When most channels would be grateful for a preview card, he wants, I mean, it's very clear what he wants. He wants payment. Anyway, bye guys.